That's funny. Good evening. All right. So today I'm taking a little side quest from my MCP journey to work on another project that I'm currently in the very early stages in that I'm adding authentication to. Kalu, hello. How are you? Good to see you, man. Hope you're having yourself a good day. Although I can't really remember where the heck I was. It's been a month or more, probably 2 months since I worked on this project. I think I'm just going to start by finding a to-do and then going from there. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is where I was. So we need to basically await for each var token in token repository. Yep. What did I call this? I thought I called this get async. Let's see. Yeah. You stopped smoking today? Ah, that's a good. That was a good choice, man. Smoking kills for sure, for sure. You know what I mean? It's like a known outcome. You smoke, you die an early death, for the most part. I mean, I guess some people get away with it. There we go. See, Tolu, they started to make cigarettes of poor quality. They tasted bad, so I quit. Well, I think you made the right decision there, man. Nicotine is good, actually. Neurotransmitter orgasm. Dopamine is good, but now cigarettes taste so bad, I hate turkey. Well, I think regardless of whether you think nicotine's good for you or not, cigarettes are cancer-causing. There is no denying how bad cigarettes are for your lungs and for your risk to develop cancer. So yeah, you smoke, you die. That's been well established. But I'm glad they now taste so bad that they make you want to quit. I think you'll be better off for that, Tolu. Sack Sham. How can I learn to code? You should learn to code by going to freecodecamp.org and getting started on their curriculum. I think that's the best place. Best place to go. So just freecodecamp.org and have yourself a good time. I'd probably start with their full stack developer curriculum, but they do have some other things. You know, if you're interested in more specific, like if you're interested in data analysis or machine learning, you know, if you want to look, they even have a C# course, which is pretty baller. So that's where I'd send you. Tolu says learn math and logic. Yeah, I mean, I would even say probably just even more logic than math. But here's where I would start. Freecodecamp.org is great. I'll put that in the chat for you if you're interested. Let's see. So we want to now add a test for this. Excuse me, revoke user verification tokens async. Public async task. Oops, that's not what I wanted to paste. Public async task. When called, it should revoke all users tokens. All users verification tokens. Did I? Oh yeah, I deleted one. That's my bad. Hello, Gary. How are you? Saksham, thanks. Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're looking for more specific advice, Saksham, I'm happy to expand more on that. But that's kind of where, like, if you're a beginner and you've never written any code before in your life, that's probably where I would start. Tolu, you should learn the answers to your questions using the internet and books. Yeah, I think that's a good skill, Tolu. But I think, Tolu, if you have a problem with people asking me questions in my stream, this is probably not a good place for you to hang out. I don't think you need to make people feel stupid or dumb for asking me a question, and that they should just go ask ChatGPT. I don't know, Tolu, if you're not having a good day, but I'm not sure I'm fucking with your energy today. I think that guy was just asking a very honest question. Um, I don't think we need to shoo him away or scold him. Kyle, hello. I'm having a lot of trouble trying to deploy my project to Railway with a database. Would you be able to help me out possibly? I've never used Railway, Kyle. I wish I could offer you more help, but I've never deployed anything on Railway. Is it more of a connection thing, Kyle? Like just getting your Railway app to talk to a database that's hosted in Railway, or maybe hosted outside of Railway? Sometimes connections are not the easiest things to deal with, especially when you're dealing with like a managed hosting provider. Sometimes it's not easy to know exactly what you need to do to get the two things talking to each other. I wish I could give you more pointed advice, but unfortunately, not so much. Let's see. Is this what I want to do? Let's see. Yeah, my database is outside of Railway, and it's not able to find it. Yeah, that makes sense. That kind of jives with experiences I've had with managed hosting providers. I'm guessing there's something special you need to do in Railway to allow your app to communicate across the wire. What that would be, I don't know. I would have to do like some Google searching or some chat GPTing to see what the deal is. Let's see. What if we just do like Railway external database? What about that? Yeah, I mean, Google Gemini or Gemini's AI summary seems to make it seem like it's as easy as just setting your database URL, setting your connection string properly. But I'm guessing you've already tried that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here asking me. Yeah, I wish I had more advice. Although it does seem like people are just dropping their connection strings and so yeah, I'm curious what your experience is if that's not enough to just set the connection string properly. Till Lewis says, I think it's happening again. I think the problem has always been with me. Take care, Steven. Good luck. Till Lewis, you're a little dramatic, buddy. Have a nice life as well, man. Hello, Ducky Dev. How are you? Doing well today? Kyle, alrighty. Thank you, man. I appreciate your help. Yeah, I don't know how helpful I was, Kyle, so I apologize for not giving you much to go off of there. But I would guess if you wrote your apps in such a way to read the database connection string from an environment variable, I would guess you can just pop into somewhere in Railway and set that connection string in an environment variable, and you should be good to go. But maybe there's more to it. Ducky Dev, chugging energy drinks at 5:30 a.m. is really good, huh? I mean, it depends. Did you wake up at 5 a.m. or have you been up since 10 p.m. the evening before? Because like if you woke up at 5 a.m. and you wanted to chug some energy drinks at 5:30 a.m., that's fine. But if you've been up for the last 12 hours straight and you're loading up on caffeine again, maybe not such a good thing. Let's generate 2 of them. And then I've been up since 48 hours ago. Yeah, I don't know. Then I would say it's not a good idea. It's not a good thing. Let's do var verification, or no, hold on. Let's say yep, do that, and then do that. Oh, I can't set that. Let's go to yeah, you probably need to take a big nap. If you've been up for 48 hours, you should get some sleep, man. That's that can't be good for you. I mean, I'm sure you've been uber productive and gotten a lot done, but I think it's time. I think it's time to have a sleep. All right. So we got our tokens. Now we need to insert these tokens. Yeah. So we need to say await, get collections, and we are going to insert many. Well, let's just spread them. And then what we need to do is we need to say So the reason why I'm using this is because now after every test, I want to clean up the collection. This is actually going to be a filter definition. We also need to call G. Do we need to call? Yeah. Yeah. Oops. Oh, you didn't have power for 7 hours? That sucks, dude. It is crappy when the power goes out. Never fun. Never fun at all. Alright, then what I need to do here is basically I want to make sure that these tokens stick around. I want to make sure these tokens get revoked. And then, yeah, that should be it really. So, yep, we're gonna do that. Revoke. Did I not put this in the right place? I don't think I put this test in the right place, did I? This is the token service. Yeah, this is the token service, not the token repository. Okay, well, damn it. That's alright. Nothing a little copy and pasting can't fix. Mongo token. Let's go here. We'll say delete. Yeah, delete that. And then we want to go to token service. Drop that in there. Salvatore? No, this is not Rust. This is C Sharp. Yeah, it's C Sharp. Which is kind of probably my favorite language. If you made me pick, I'd probably pick C Sharp. Which is kind of interesting because if you made me pick my favorite language, I would say C Sharp. Ugh. If you made me pick my favorite language, I would say C Sharp. But if you said you can only ever write one language again in your life, I would pick TypeScript, which is kind of interesting, I think. Oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't start my line counter. Let's see, how do I do this? And I feel like I've actually been pretty productive today, so I should make sure I get credit for those. There we go. That was left over from last time. Alright, so let's say var tokens equals actually I could probably do an array. Yeah, let's do that instead. And then we need to put these into the database, so we'll say await. We'll say for each token, create it. There we go. There we go. Alright, now we just need to assert on this, so we need to say we'll get a count. Oh, we should also the other thing we should do here is we should I know this is silly. We should say refresh token. We'll say new refresh token. And then we'll say, we're going to say var another user verification token. Say new, like that. And that's going to go in our collection of tokens. So this way we know that, that way we can make sure that when this method is called, it only invalidates, or it only revokes the verification for the user given, and it only revokes tokens of the type verification. Is what we're trying to test for. So, let's say var other user token. We're going to get that one, and then we're going to say var refresh token. Yeah, like that, I think. Oh. Created. And then we'll say this should be called created other user token. And we should just verify that created other user token dot revoked should be false. And these should not be null. If they're null, something's wrong. Alright, let's try to run this real quick. See if it passes. Ducky'd have nice async task name. Yeah. All my method names and everything in my C# code are always very verbose. And I don't know, this is kind of I don't know if people are still doing this, but like classically you would always name async methods async in C#. So I've just kind of followed that idiom. I don't know though if that's kind of falling out of favor. It should. Yeah, I know. It's a very dumb and redundant test name. Forgive me. Asmoth, how are you doing? Or Asmoz, how are you doing? Tony, hello, how are you doing? Asmos RV, is it worth learning C# in 2025? I don't know any coding. I'm just going to join college. I think C# is a great language. I think everyone should give C# a try. Is it very popular in the startup world? It doesn't seem to be, but it's definitely super popular in larger enterprise orgs, it seems like. The company, though, I work at, we're a pretty small company. We're just about 100 people, and most of our, almost everything we have is written in C#. So I think it just depends on where you want to work, Asmos, or what you want to do, right? So if you don't want to be a C# developer, no one's going to make you, right, be a C# developer. If you want to work for a company that uses C#, there's your sign, right? Okay, so that passed. Let's also make sure that those 2 tokens that I did insert were revoked. So we'll say let's see, first or default. But I want to do the page. So let's go back here. I stink at navigating in NeoVim. Let's see, what am I looking for? I'm looking for token service integration. Here we go. So let's say var filter and then var sort. So then we can do await for each var token, just like that. And this is actually my test that I have in this project actually run against a real MongoDB instance that runs in a Docker container, which is pretty cool. So like I'm actually verifying that like the tokens get inserted, the tokens get modified in the database correctly. So it's much more an integration test than a unit test. There you go. Okay, cool. So that method works. So revoke token service. So we got that implemented. I think, was that the last thing I needed to do for that? Let's see. I was working on, I think I was working on this. So get user by email. Revoke user verification tokens. Generate a new token. Is this the only place this is referenced? Let me see. GR. iToken service. Yeah, this is the only place this is used. Go to implementation. Okay, cool. I think now I can write the test for that endpoint. See, verify account, endpoint tests. So I think I need to add a test for, what did I call this endpoint? Verify, send verification, email endpoint. My names are so long. I'm so bad at naming things. Let's see. So we'll say resend verification email endpoint tests.cs. We should be ready to rock and roll there too. Sammy Basso Burt, what is this project? And then Enzo says, what is .cs? So Sammy, the project, in my mind's eye, this project will end up being like a no-code way to write ETL jobs. That's my vision for the project. I'm far away from that being a reality because I'm literally just implementing the authentication and the identity for the backend. So I'm very far off from that kind of end state, but that's my vision for the project, is basically to have a system where people can basically create ETL workflows, essentially, scripts, right, that do extract, transform, and load jobs. Basically, things that you would typically write a Python script or a Node script to move data from one system to another. I have an idea in my head for like a no-code platform that would enable people who might not know how to write code to do those types of things. Sort of like Zapier, right? If you're familiar with Zapier, I think there's a few consumer as well as business enterprisey apps that do this. But yeah, I think I've got an interesting, different take on it. Enzo, what is .cs? .cs is for C#. So that's I'm not sure if you're familiar with .NET. So .NET is provides a common runtime for a couple different languages, and one of them is C#. Let's see, C# language. Yeah, C# docs. So if you're interested in learning more about it, you can find out more about C# on the docs, but that's the programming language I'm working in at the moment. I said it earlier on stream, that's probably my favorite programming language is C# at the moment. Obviously that could change, I've got a lot of life left in me. Okay, so now that we have this here. I need to set up a better shortcut for closing that file tree. Let's see. So we've got data flow dot server dot API dot tests dot integration, and we are going to call this one what's the endpoint? I don't remember what the endpoint was. Resend. Resend verification email. That's the endpoint. Resend verification email. There we go. And then this is going to be called resend verification email endpoint. And we're going to write our code in here. Does anybody know how, like, I'm just going to quit out of that and just start with a blank slate. So resend. I want to open this file. And then I want to open resend verification. Oops. Resend verification. Nope, I don't want to open that one. There we go. So the first test I'm going to have here is basically I'm going to have something that doesn't pass validation. So email must be a valid email address. Okay, so I'll provide it something that's not a valid email address and make sure it returns an error. Enzo, thanks for the info. Yeah, sure, man. 100%. C#'s not for everyone, right? I mean, no language is for everybody. So definitely feel free to explore it and make your own conclusions, but I like it. All right, so let's come down here and say fact public async task resend verification email when email is invalid, it should return bad request. I always like to try to make sure I'm writing my tests kind of in the same like consistency. So I always try to take a peek at how I did it in other places. So I can see here I actually called out it should return 400 status code with validation problem details. Okay, so let's actually name this one in a similar way. Resend when email is invalid, it should return 400 status code with validation details. That's, I don't know about you guys, but if you ever have Copilot, write unit tests for you, it really, really likes to do this with comments. And I don't know why. There must be a lot of code out there in the world that has these comments in it. I'm just not sure why it's always. Let's see. Yeah. Control 2. There we go. It always adds arrange, act, and assert. Did anybody else see this when Copilot generates unit tests for them? I find it dumb and unnecessary, but Mohammed, what are you coding? Mohammed, right now I'm working on implementing the identity and authentication piece for what will eventually be a web app. But I'm in the early stages, early days. I don't even have any front end yet for any of the endpoints or anything like that. So I'm just working on the back end pieces at the moment. Let's see. So we'll say post as JSON. We'll just do a new anonymous object. Set email to something doesn't make any sense. Oh, whoops. Oh. That's why it doesn't like it. All right, let's just test this real quick, and then we'll. So this integration test is pretty cool. This is one of the things I love about writing APIs and stuff in C# is they make integration testing really nice. So this test is actually spinning up a version of my API in memory, and I'm actually hitting a request against that API. And it makes it really easy to do, which is super nice. Yep, it is unauthorized. But it shouldn't be. So I need to go to... This endpoint should not require authentication. This is why we write tests. Yeah, this one should not require authentication. All right, and now we'll go back to our tests, and we'll try to run this again. Safer, hello, Safer. You're very eager for me to say hello to you. How are you doing? Okay, that succeeded. So now we can do something like this. Oops. know this is thrilling to watch me write tests, but writing tests, it's a good thing. It's a good practice. Alright, that passed, which is great. Now let's write one where the email is valid. Okay, so if the email is valid, okay, so let's write one where the email is valid, but there's no user with that email. And so then we should get a 404. Tear-out destroyer. I took like a 68-hour nap because the embassy was fixing the generator and we didn't have power for 73 whole hours. Tear-out destroyer. Are you Ducky Dev? Are you do you have multiple accounts? Is it worth learning C# in 2025? Now you're just copying pasting earlier people's messages. I feel like Ducky Dev was talking to me about embassy and the generator. Oh, maybe Tear-out destroyer is just copying other people's messages and posting them into chat. Well, that's kind of a trolly thing to do. Okay. We're going to time out this guy. See you, buddy. I was like, wait a minute. Why do all these messages sound familiar? Okay. Back to public async task. Resend verification email. When email is valid, but no existing user, it should return 404 status code with problem details. And Copilot actually should be able to write this one pretty accurately now that I have a test up above. Let's see if it'll do it. Come on, Copilot. Help me out here. Guess I'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way. Actually, you know what? I'm going to turn this into a theory. I'm going to call this inline data. And I'm going to make it an empty string. Space. I'm going to make it null. I'm going to make it an invalid email. Oh. This can be nullable. Alright. Back down here. So we'll say email is going to be, let's just do test@test.com. We'll say response should be not found. Response body dot extensions. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, extensions. Should not be empty. Ducky Dev, I'm going off now, Steven. Gonna chill out at 6 a.m. because it's a very quiet morning. Yeah, man, do your thing. Thanks for hanging out, Ducky Dev. Appreciate you. Wowie. Hi, y'all. Hello, Wowie. How are you doing? I'm gonna try to stop saying so much. I feel like it's a bad habit. Wowie, I'm good. How about you? I'm good. Yeah, man. Just chill Saturday. Woke up, work out, drank some coffee, watched the NFL draft, which I just said didn't I? I watched the NFL draft. Pretty crazy that Shedeur Sanders fell all the way to the, what was it, 5th round. And now I'm doing this, writing some code and having a good time, making progress. I think I'm kind of addicted to progress. Like, if I'm not making progress on something in my life, I can always tell I don't feel as good. Let's see, response body should not be null. That's fine. Response body dot extensions errors. Whoops. Dot as. This should be as a dictionary, and I'm gonna say should not be empty. Wowie, better than my addiction? Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I don't know what your addiction is, but let's see, extensions errors found null. What? This shouldn't be null. That should, yeah, let's try that. My coffee's all gone. I keep trying to drink it. It's nothing but water now. Melted ice. It's a sad state of affairs. All right. Now we go back and we add another case. This is what writing tests looks like. I don't think a lot of people write tests, but all right. So if the user result value is verified, okay, yeah. So if a verified user tries to resend themselves a verification email, we should fail it. Because we say, hey, you're already verified. There's no reason to re-verify yourself. So the way we do this is we say fact public async task resend verification email when email is for existing verified user. It should return 409 status code with problem details. Also, if you hear a lot of background noise, it's just because it's Saturday and everyone's home and everyone's in the living room. So that's if you hear a lot of background noise, it's just my kids. Peanut, which IDE is this? This IDE is called NeoVim. Which I guess, I don't know if you'd consider it an IDE, Peanut, honestly. Like when I think of IDE, I think of something like VS Code, or not even VS Code, like Visual Studio, or Eclipse, you know, for the Java people. But it's pretty extensible. I mean, I think you can make NeoVim pretty much on par with VS Code. You definitely can't make NeoVim on par with Visual Studio in terms of like C# development. Obviously. I mean, Visual Studio is very purpose-built, right? Just like Eclipse. It's hard to have a general purpose editor compete with that. Yeah, could you turn that down? And also, did someone knock a water bottle off? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, so we actually need to test, let's see, test user email is going to be equal to, we'll just call this test at test.com. And then we're going to say var test user is going to be equal to new user. And we'll set those values like that. Test user. Excuse me. Oh, I can just let's see. I can just set this, can't I? We'll say test user email like that. This returns a password and the user. Well, I don't need the password, but I do need the user. And then I'll insert this into my database, which I can do because I have access to my context. And then now I'll send a request. All right, let's see if this works. Sabine, how are you, buddy? I'm good, Sabine. How are you doing? Having yourself a fine... Well, for you, it's probably already Sunday, huh? Still Saturday here for me. Imperio, do you have any experience with Dart and Flutter? I don't, although I've watched a lot of YouTube videos of people writing Flutter, and that looks like a pretty cool language to build mobile apps, right? That's what it's primarily used for. But you can write in one language and write it in one language and use it for both Android and iOS, right? I myself have never done any what would you call it? Any mobile development. But I think if I was to try to do some mobile development, it would either be with Flutter or it would be with what is it? .NET MAUI, I think, is the cross platform for building native apps. Yeah. Imperial says, dude, it's ass. I'm stuck on reading and writing JSON files. Wow, that's frustrating because you feel like any language these days would have first-class support for reading and writing JSON files or JSON data in general. So that's not fun to hear. I don't know, maybe go check out .NET MAUI instead of using Flutter. I don't know if you're a C# developer, if you know C#, but C# has wonderful support for reading and writing JSON. They don't have a text box? What? No way. Is that a true statement? Landon Russell. Hi. Hello, Landon Russell. I'll probably never forget your username because of the way you spell Landon. I've never seen anybody... I've known a lot of Landons, and I've never seen anybody spell it that way. Why would a UI framework, or why would a language that's meant to be for developing mobile apps not have a text box? I don't understand. Cruzy, the function signatures. Yeah, they're kind of long, okay? Get over it, man. It's test code, okay? It's meant to be verbose. Is this how you write your test names? Do you say like public async task test 1? Is that how you name your test methods? Because that's very helpful when this test fails. In your CI/CD process, this fails. Test 1, fail. That's why the method names are so verbose. Imperio, bro, I created a text box using an empty container and inline text input. Made it look like one. Well, I mean, yeah, that's what you have to do, right? But that's pretty crazy. They don't have something like that out of the box. I mean, are there UI libraries for Flutter? Cuzzy, I don't write tests because I'm confident my code just works. That is about the most out-of-pocket thing I've ever heard anybody say that writes code. Because if you've ever actually done like meaningful software development, I don't know of anybody who's written code and it isn't or it doesn't have some bug in it, whether that bug be logical or purposeful on the developer's part, or maybe a lack of requirements or design. But yeah, that's pretty wild to say. I just don't write tests. That seems like a really good way to get out of having to do any type of testing. Is what that seems like. Oh, you're kidding. Okay, nice. I mean, I'm kind of biased because my whole job, 40 hours a week is testing other people's code and finding bugs in it constantly. Even for like our best developers, make mistakes. So I'm a little biased in my opinions. I fully admit that. Landon Russell, some brat at school broke my phone yesterday, but little did he know I'm smart when it comes to electronics. Oh, that sucks, dude. If someone broke my phone, I'd be pretty pissed. Imperial, I checked the docs. The closest thing was a form, which was kind of like a button, so it was useless. That doesn't sound very helpful at all. Suhas, bro, what is a it park? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Suhas, so I don't even think I can answer it. It park. I don't know what that is. Okay, I think I just need to now say... Now I just need to test the case where it's a valid user, they're unverified, and I guess let's assume that the token result... yeah, let's assume that the token result fails, and if it fails, then we should expect an internal server error. Oh, no, actually, I'm not going to do that. I can do that with a unit test, because then I would need to mock the token service. So I'll do that as a unit test. Oh, no, I said again. Let's just test the happy path. I think at this point I can just test the happy path. And the other cases here I'll cover with a unit test. Let's see, public async task, resend verification email. When email is for existing unverified user, it should send verification email. It should return 200 status code and send verification email. For now, let's just throw new not implemented. We can remove async for the moment. I think I need to set that value. Let's see. Bro, what is a... No, I already said that. Brawly Super, you're so cute. Yeah, I mean, I'm happily married. Random questions. I-T Park. The fuck? My sister kicked me out of multiple Discord servers. Oh, I don't know. Man, people be doing crazy stuff to each other. I don't know what I-T Park is. I don't know what that means, Suas. I apologize. I have no idea what you're saying. Oh, it's 7? Oh, it's 7 o'clock already. Oh, actually, this... There's a problem with my test I just wrote. Should return 204. Alright, so we basically need to do this. But we don't want them to be verified. Alright, let's see if this works. If this works, I think this will probably wrap it up for me for the evening. Because it's 7 o'clock. My kids go to bed at 8, so I'm going to probably hop off. Okay, that worked. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to verify that the email was successfully sent. And I already have an example of that over here. Oh no, actually that's not. That's under... Not under verify. This is under the register. So I'm using something called MailHog to test email sending as part of my integration tests. So I can do this. Alright, so let's actually make sure the email gets sent now. Imperio, dude, legit found out Flutter is the only language that has issues using JSON. Are you serious? That's wild to me. Let's see. Flutter. Okay, the email was sent successfully because that test passed. Wonderful. I could probably dry up some of this test code at this point because I definitely see some repetitiveness that I'm doing. But honestly, personally, I don't like. I honestly am one of those people that don't think test code needs to be super dry. Oh, that's for, okay, no, I don't want to do that. Verify account link regex. Where is that? There we go, right here. I'm just gonna duplicate it. I could dry it up, but I'm just gonna duplicate it for the moment. Actually, I probably shouldn't. It probably should be dry. I need to make some sort of utility class or something. God, all I do is spend all my time switching files. I think that's good enough for now. Alright, now I still need to write some unit tests for this, but this will be fine for now. So git status, git add, git commit, write integration tests for resend verification email. Neva, what language is this? This is C#, or it was C#. What was on the screen was C#. So how many lines did I get? 191? That might be a new personal best on stream. 191 in an hour and a half. I think I did 120 in like 2 hours yesterday. So I'm becoming a little bit more productive while streaming and coding. I think there was way less chat today than there was the last couple times I've streamed, so that would explain the increase in productivity. We should probably have a chat counter too, right? So that we can see the inverse relationship between the number of chat messages and the lines of code written. I was curious to look at what Imperio said, because every time I've seen people write Flutter, I've always thought that looks cool. So Flutter JSON problematic. It's a known thing. Let's see, it's hard to think of a mobile app that doesn't need to communicate with a web server or easily stores structured data at some point. 2 general strategies. Use manual serialization for smaller projects. Manual JSON decoding refers to using the built-in JSON decoder in Dart Convert. It involves passing the raw JSON string to JSON decode, then looking up the values you need in the resulting map string dynamic. JSON serialization with code generation means having an external library generate the encoding boilerplate for you. After some initial setup, you run a file watcher that generates the code from your model classes. Oh, that does sound... So are you basically saying, Imperio, you're basically saying Flutter doesn't seem like it supports deserializing to strong types and serializing strong types? Is that kind of what you're complaining about? Yeah, I mean, if you had to write this for every single class, that's painful. Or this for every single class, that's super painful. Nevo, isn't it much better to do this with a binary format? I don't know if it's better, but I think it's just very common. I mean, I don't want to say it's not better or that it is better. I just think it's super common to have to send JSON back and forth over the wire, and so being able to just very easily serialize and deserialize between the strong types in your code base and the JSON you need to send in a request, right? It's just more of a convenience thing, because this would just be painful to have to implement this over and over again for every single class. But it does look like there's some libraries that help with this, that basically do this for you, because I'm guessing these code generation libraries just generate these methods for you. But like in C#, you don't have to do that. C# will serialize JSON to strong types and serialize your strong types, and you can customize the serialization behavior or deserialization behavior, but it's all kind of built in out of the box now. So no wonder Imperio was complaining, because this would not be fun. Nevo, like, I get doing JSON because it's easy, but if you want strong types, why do JSON? Nevo, so imagine you're writing Flutter application, right, using Dart, and you're responsible for building the mobile application, but some other team or somebody else is building an API that runs separately somewhere else, and so your mobile app needs to talk to that API, right? So that would be a reason why that's the strong types. You can't cross the wire with the strong types, right? So you're gonna have to send some sort of serialization format. In a lot of cases, it's JSON, right, these days. Nevo, Rust has SERD for this, which is really nice. I've not heard of. Okay, I get it. You want to talk to JS. Yeah, exactly. Like you're just like constrained, right? You don't have a choice. Like you're building some client application, and the service you need to talk to speaks in JSON, right? It's like that's a very common situation. Rust SERD. Well, there we go. I've not done much with Rust. I started to go through the Rust Lang book, but I've only made it, I think I'm like chapter 7 or 8 of that book. I need to go back to actually trying to learn it. I think I'm on the chapter after ownership. Yeah. I guess I'm only on chapter 5. Rust. Yeah, I'm on Structs, I guess. Structs. Yeah, I've got a ways to go, but it was good. It was fun to jump in and start trying to learn it. I just need to get back to trying to learn it. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna jump off here and go hang out with my family. Kids only have a little bit more before bedtime, so I'll be back tomorrow. But thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate you guys. If you're new here, I do try to stream like once a day, at least, and then obviously make shorts and videos and stuff. So I'll either see another live stream or maybe see in the comments of a short or a video. If you want to interact with anybody from my channel, from my chat outside of streams, we do have a Discord. If you go to my channel links, you'll find a Discord invite there, and you're welcome to join us. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Hope you have a great rest of your Saturday, or if it's Sunday for you already, hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Talk to y'all later.